You know, we live in this crazy attention economy where things like likes and views and followers, they're basically the currency. But what happens when that currency is being counterfeited on an industrial scale? Well, we're about to go inside the global shadow economy that manufactures online popularity, a place where reality itself is literally for sale.
And this right here, this is the engine room of that economy. Just look at it. You've got tangled wires, humming racks of phones. This isn't just a bunch of hardware. It's basically a digital sweatshop. In here, low-wage workers or automated scripts are just manually churning out the likes and views that decide what you and I see online. This is the physical, gritty reality behind the digital illusion.
And all of this, it leads to a really chilling question. What if the internet is already dead? This is the absolute core of something called the dead internet theory. This idea that a huge and growing piece of the online world isn't even human anymore. It's just bots talking to other bots. We're going to see just how frighteningly close to that reality we might already be.
To really understand this, we have to go inside the production facilities. So, let's call them what they are: reality factories. These are the places where what you think is popular opinion is actually manufactured 24/7. Okay, check this out. Take this raid in Ghana. Military police storm a house, and what do they find? Walls just lined with phones, all of them running scripts to artificially boost views for Afrobeats music videos. And they beat the system because they were using hundreds of real physical phones, each with its very own SIM card. So to YouTube, every single fake view looked like it was coming from a unique, totally legitimate user, and it completely sailed past their basic defenses.
But here's the thing. That operation in Ghana, that was pretty small time, relatively speaking. If you want to see the true industrial scale of this stuff, you have to look at this example from Thailand. Here, the authorities didn't just find a few hundred phones. No, they uncovered a logistical masterpiece of fraud, built specifically to pump out fake engagement for the Chinese platform WeChat.
And this number just brilliantly illustrates the scale we're talking about. In that one single raid, police seized 350,000 SIM cards. 350,000. Let that sink in. That's an entire city's worth of fake identities, all being managed from one rented house, just to create an army of fake users.
So these factories use a few different methods. To really get how they operate, let's break down the two main ways a fake like is actually born. You've got brute force hardware, and then you've got increasingly sophisticated software.
So on one hand, you have what we're calling the digital sweatshop model. These are the physical phone farms that use real devices to trick platform security. And on the other hand, you have the ghost in the machine, the AI botnets. These don't need any physical phones at all. They are just sophisticated software programs that can perfectly mimic human behavior from literally anywhere in the world.
So how do these software bots hide? I mean, how do they not get caught immediately? Well, one of their most powerful tools is something called a residential proxy. See, a bot that's running from a known data center is pretty easy to spot. But a residential proxy, it cleverly routes that bot's traffic through a real person's home internet connection. So to a platform like Instagram or TikTok, the activity doesn't look like it's coming from some server in Moscow. It looks like it's coming from a suburban home in Ohio, which gives it instant credibility.
But the real game changer here, the thing that has completely flipped the script, is generative AI. You know, it used to be pretty easy to spot a bot comment. It'd be something like, "nice pic," or just a string of fire emojis. Well, not anymore. Now, AI can actually analyze a post and generate a perfectly relevant, grammatically correct comment. It's called semantic camouflage. And honestly, it makes these bots almost impossible to tell apart from you or me.
Okay, so you have all this manufactured engagement being made 24/7. It's got to be sold somewhere, right? Well, that brings us to the storefronts of this shadow economy, the influence supermarket.
Say hello to the social media marketing panel, or SMM panel for short. And you really should think of it as the Amazon.com for fake popularity. These are these slick e-commerce websites where you can buy literally any kind of engagement you want with just a few clicks and a credit card.
And the prices? They're just staggering. Look at this. 1,000 TikTok views for less than a penny. 1,000 Instagram likes for 10 cents. Your online reputation has been completely commodified, down to fractions of a cent. You can even specify the quality, from cheap, obvious bots all the way up to premium, geo-targeted followers that look completely real.
So you're probably wondering, why would anyone buy this? Well, it all comes down to a really simple and pretty cynical strategy. Fake it till you make it. An aspiring influencer can go out and spend, say, $500 to instantly buy the appearance of having 50,000 followers. Now, this superficial credibility is often enough to attract real brand deals. And think about it. If they land just one $500 sponsorship, they've already broken even. Anything after that is pure profit, built on a foundation of lies.
And we know this works. Don't just take my word for it. A marketing agency called Media Kicks ran this amazing experiment. They created 2 Instagram accounts from scratch, using only stock photos. They got all their followers, all their likes, the whole shebang. And the result? They secured 4 paid brand sponsorship deals. It proved that a lot of brands are only looking at those surface-level numbers, and they're just not doing their due diligence.
Now, this isn't some harmless game. This is not a victimless crime. The ripple effects from this industry are absolutely enormous, scaling from wasted marketing dollars all the way up to geopolitical conflict.
Let's just start with the money. It's estimated that brands waste over $1.3 billion every single year, paying influencers whose audiences are mostly bots. That's billions of dollars in ad spending that reaches absolutely no real customers.
But the cost, wow, it goes so far beyond just money. The infamous Russian Internet Research Agency, for example, used these exact same tools, but not to sell products, to sow political division. Their bot-amplified content reached 126 million Americans just on Facebook alone, weaponizing fake engagement for their geopolitical goals.
And this is the really scary part. The line between a commercial tool and a political weapon has just completely vanished. As you can see from these examples, the very same commercial bot farms that were once hired to boost influencers, like the ones in Ukraine, were later co-opted by Russian intelligence to spread wartime propaganda. This is dual-use technology. The infrastructure of influence is now a part of the modern battlefield. And all of this brings us right back to that core, unsettling idea, the dead internet theory. We are rapidly approaching a point where the internet is less a network of people and more of a performative space, where machines generate content for other machines to consume, and we humans are just kind of caught in the middle. And you want to know the most unsettling part? We have no idea how far gone we are. Is 30% of the internet fake? 50? 70? The true scale of the problem is this massive, terrifying unknown. What this does is it creates this really dangerous, vicious cycle. Our social media feeds are run by algorithms, right? And they're trained to maximize engagement. But when a huge chunk of that engagement is fake, the data gets poisoned. The algorithms then start promoting content that appeals to bots, not to people, creating this bizarre feedback loop that just pollutes our entire digital world.
So this all leads us to one fundamental question. When popularity can be bought for pennies, and when consensus can just be manufactured out of thin air, in an ocean of fakes, what's the value of being real?